start in 5 seconds. Oh, we are live. This is Sound Booth Theater Live. These are the very last cold reads for Dungeon Crawler Carl 6, Part 6 of the cold reads. Lots of redundancy here today. And thank you so much for everyone who's already here. It takes a second for StreamYard to tell me exactly how many people are here, but I will say the number here pretty soon. But lots of people here early. I noticed that like at least 83 people here were here before it got started. I'm hoping that this switch in time will help us with the 1,500 people goal. But, you know, if not, I'm still glad to be entertaining you guys. Not a big deal. You know, just go wrangle up as many people as you can for now. And we'll see how big we get. We'll see. I think that there was a few people who commented in here that's like, oh, well, now that it's later, I can't make it. Which, I guess we're only going to know how many people... we're only going to know how many people can make it on one side of the time zone or the other by testing it. By the way, this is some music from the Dungeon Crawler Carl audio immersion tunnel, if you guys haven't heard it before. That's right, it's the boss battle song. I believe this is, we're going to use this for the Ball of Swine. That's when it's going to first pop up, but I'm sure we'll be using it more than once. It's great boss battle music. Anyway, again, lovely having you guys. I'm really happy to get started again. Just a little bit concerned about my voice, to be honest, because, again, later on in the evening my voice isn't as good as, like, in the morning or at noon. But I do have my tea. I've already drank a cup of it. I've got the honey in there. I've come prepared. So, anyway, before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that there's a shit ton of links in the description below this video. Did I drink metal? There's like, okay, so this tea is sparkly. I don't know if you can tell.
Barium.
Can you see the sparklies? I don't know if you can see the sparklies. So I imagine that it's some kind of like metal. I don't know. Is there other stuff that's sparkly that's not metal? Plastic, maybe. That'd probably be worse to drink. Anyway, yeah, so check the links in the description below for all the stuff. That you might want to get. There's Matt Dinneman's Patreon. There's the audiobooks on Audible. The link for that, in case there's people here who were dragged here who don't know anything about Dungeon Crawler Carl. You can go pick up the audiobooks from there, and then you'll be hooked just like everybody here. Then we have the link to Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon, Episode 1 of the cinematic audio version. That's Sound Booth Theater's version, and it's exclusive to our platform. Sparkles, did a stripper drink your coffee? No, it just came in the...
Jules always with the bangers.
Yeah, he's a good contributor. Thank you, sir. Yeah, first episode of Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon will give you a better idea of what the DCC audio immersion tunnel is going to be like. It's so well produced with Ahmed Mahmoud as our sound effects designer. Aaron J. Morton, our lead composer here at Sound Booth Theater, did most of the music on Kaiju. Ahmed did some, but for Dungeon Crawler Carl, we have like 4 different composers working on this, including myself, Eddie Zach, one of Ahmed's teachers from way back when. Ahmed is actually the primary music guy on Dungeon Crawler Carl's audio immersion tunnel, and then we also have Aaron J. Morton doing stuff on it as well. So, what else is in that description? Also, yeah, soundbooththeater.com. Obviously, go sign up for our newsletter. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have gotten more than 1,000 new subscribers this month, so thank you all so much. And it's all been in the past, week or two, because people have been preparing for these particular cold reads. We're at 6.02K already. Man, just keeps climbing. I'm gonna find the exact number over here. YouTube Studio. We're at 6,020, exactly. So the more subscribers we can get, the better, and then you guys will be able to watch. You guys will get notifications whenever we do cold reads or regular Sound Booth Theater Lives, which is like our variety show every other Wednesday. Anything else that we should talk about? One more thing. Summoner Awakens, my newest series with Athon Books. New author named Kerberos, who was actually a fan of ours before I don't know if he was a fan before he started writing or during his start to writing, but he wanted to work with us specifically, and so we were happy to. It's a great book. It's very well written. It's so much fun. Summoner Awakens, it's a lit RPG. It's a tower climber, but it also has an element of the main character. It's a card game based lit RPG, so it's a lot like this book, this Dungeon Crawler Carl 6. And he goes back in time. He dies at 100-something years old and goes back to repossess his younger body when he was still in magic school. So go check that out. A Summoner Awakens by Kerberos. We published it with Athon Books, and people are already leaving lots of great reviews. So go check it out if you haven't already. And you guys get ready to get started on some Dungeon Crawler Carl. Yesterday, we stopped basically in the middle of what chapter is this? Chapter 15. So, we're on Donut and Carl are on a quest. They're in this literal ghost town that's actually in a cemetery. All these creatures called, what are they called? Gomids. They're like kind of a random assortment of different types of ghost and spirit and undead. And they have a quest to reconstruct the shrine of this one super powerful undead guy named Aloysius, or what was his name? It's not Aloysius, it's where'd it go? Ogun. It's not Ogun. It's not Shango. Yeah, Asahano. That's his name. So Asahano, the boss fight, told them, hey, if you summon me if you, put together my shrine, I'll get rid of all these Gomids and you can finish your quest. But some complications have arisen. They're in the Thorn Room, and there's 7 different altars that have all been deconstructed, and depending on whose shrine they put together, that actual god will manifest rather than Asahano. So, yes, Asahano, that's his name. Aloysius Stavadonder Abercrombie, that's long for mud! All right. Sorry. And, Ethan. What's up, Ethan? Good to see you again. So, let's go ahead and get started. We're at 178, almost doubled the number of listeners from the very beginning of the stream. I bet you guys can go get more. So I'm told that by this son's a bitch that lies before me, bloated, blue, and cold. All right. So I'm going to play the last AI bit that'll lead us into the rest of this chapter. Shrine 7! This is Yamaya, the River Mother. This one almost made it to the halls on her own, but she couldn't keep her power. Time is funny like that, isn't it? One day you're on top of the world, the next people don't even remember who you are. Real quick, big plot point, Yamaya is the god that Katya has found out Carl needs to manifest or put her shrine together in order for it's there for okay, got distracted. That shrine, if Yamaya gets summoned, then somehow Katya's crown of the sepsis whore will be deactivated or canceled out, and then Donut and Katya won't have to fight. That's spoilers for anybody who's not finished book 5 already, but you'll probably forget what I said there if you don't know what I'm talking about already. Her good friend, the goddess Elethia, misses her so very much. If you repair this monument, Yemaya will ascend. She will gift each squad with a special card. In addition, her friend Elethia will grant each of you a single boon. And that's it! Man, I can't wait to see how this turns out. I really hope y'all are on the same page here, and there aren't any secret motivations that will cause conflict within your group. That would be really awkward. We start in 5 seconds. All right, here goes.
My mind raced. I didn't know how or why or what this Yemaya had to do. I didn't know how or why or what this Yemaya had to do with the crown of the sepsis whore, but I'd learned long ago to trust Katya, to trust her instincts, to trust her heart.
Now I'm all burpy because I drank too much tea.
I looked at the two men, still frozen. If we repaired any shrine other than Ogun's, they would receive a smite. Both the charm lady and the guy with the snake were great. A little too great. But what would be the point? We always figured we'd have to fight Asahano anyway, and we prepared for it. Up until the moment I received Katya's message, there would have been no question. I would have helped them repair Ogun's shrine. But now, I remembered what I said to Donut in those horrible moments near the end of the last floor. It's going to get worse before it gets better. We're going to lose more friends. We're going to have to do some pretty horrible things just to survive. Worse, much worse, was the sudden, out-of-nowhere implication of not following Katya's path. Getting Donut to survive past the 9th floor was already next to impossible. But having to kill Katya, too? No. No way. I would do anything to make certain that eventuality never came to pass. Never. 5 seconds. All of this rushed through my mind in 5 seconds. You could do that. Sometimes the fog clears just long enough to see it all at once.
Ocean!
Anton shouted at the seductive female ghost just as we became unfrozen.
I'm coming! All right, let's see. I need to find her voice again.
Any other god who seeks,
she said, pointing it up, and give any other info. The name Ocean blazed over her head.
I will protect you from any other god who seeks to harm you. I will give you... Yes, love. Yes, love.
The goddess cried back.
Hurry!
The goddess... back.
Hurry! Hurry! No!
Sister Inez yelled.
We have to fix Ogun's shrine.
No.
We have to fix Ogun's shrine.
Oh, no, I lost the...
Anton lurched forward toward the woman ghost just as Paws grabbed his arm. Anton fought back. He turned and hurled the metal chunk, the piece of Ogun's shrine, toward the exit.
What? I lost her voice. Hold on. Where is she?
Hey, here we go!
Damn it.
We have to fix Organ's shrine.
There we go.
Anton lurched toward the woman ghost just as Paws grabbed his arm. Anton fought back. He turned and hurled the metal chunk, the piece of Ogun's shrine, toward the exit. It smashed into the broken door and punched through. The metal piece continued its trajectory. The metal piece continued its trajectory and rolled outside into the night.
Oh, shit!
Paws cried. Betrayal! Asahano shouted again. The green glow about him grew larger. Donut! Phantasm now! Donut! Phantasm now!
I still don't like that name.
Do it! She cast Laundry Day on Bomo. One moment, Bomo was absolutely covered in spikes. One moment, Bomo was absolutely covered in spiked pieces of armor. The next, the pieces exploded off of him like a fragmenting grenade, shooting in all directions, completely filling the room with the dozens of metal bits.
I forgot that maybe you guys wanted to see my screen. I did that last time and you guys seemed to like it, right? Oh, we're at 190 now. We're slowly creeping up. Slowly. Let's see here. Window, entire screen. Here it is. And we'll go with this configuration. There we go.
The room with the dozens of metal bits. All right. Dozens of metal bits. Where to go? Other than the shoulder pads holding up the launchers, the metal pieces hadn't been connected together, but painstakingly sewn onto a fabric undershirt. Other than the shoulder pads holding up the launchers, the metal pieces hadn't been connected together, but painstakingly sewn onto a fabric undershirt one by one, with dozens of trash-tiered daggers shoved into the spaces around them. I'd put it together at my armorer's table. Which turned the whole thing into something called a scrap heap breastplate. I repeated the process for his arms and legs and the rest of his massive getup. Paws got bowled over by a chunk of helmet, causing him to let go of Anton, who pushed his way toward Ocean, where he fell to his knees and started picking up chunks of rock, attempting to put the goddess's shrine together.
Gah! Fuck! Gah! Fuck!
I shouted, looking down at the dagger that had lodged into my...
Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
I shouted, looking down at the dagger that had lodged into my arm. I hadn't realized the armor would fly off Bomo like that. I pulled the blade out and tossed it to the ground as I healed myself. Foamy, white bubbles filled the room at Bomo's feet, percolating up to his knees, a side product of the Laundry Day spell. The rock creature reached down into the soapy mess, scooped up a glob of bubbles, and brought it to his mouth. He grumbled unhappily. Donut then cast part 2 of the Phantasm move. She cast her new spell, Legionnaires of the Damned. A purple rent formed in midair above the temple, and dozens of wispy, white ghosts flowed into the room, screaming, their voices not unlike the shrieks of the Gomids outside. Everyone stopped what they were doing. Everyone stopped what they were doing to watch. The ghosts spilled downward, flowing into all the pieces of scattered armor on the floor. All the small hunks of metal started shaking.
Carl! It's working!
How's your mana?
Topped up. I had to take a potion.
Keep your mute spell ready. Her new mute spell would only last a handful of seconds, especially on a boss monster like Asahano, But if we timed it correctly, we could keep him from inflicting all of us with some terrible disease. Let's try that one more time.
No, it doesn't change with each read, just whatever I was using. That's my Carl Thompson. That's my new baby.
Her new mute spell would only last a handful of seconds, especially on a boss monster like Asahano, but if we timed it correctly, we could keep him from inflicting all of us with some terrible disease. My original plan was to just spam drop weapons and armor pieces into a huge pile and have Donut reanimate them all with her Legionnaires of the Damp. My original plan was to just spam drop weapons and armor pieces into a huge pile and have Donut reanimate them all. My original plan was to just spam drop weapons and armor pieces into a huge pile and have Donut reanimate them all with her Legionnaires of the Damned spell, but Mordecai said the weapons had to have been recently equipped on a combatant or corpse. It didn't matter if they were friend or foe. It didn't matter if they were friend or foe, just that they were equipped. We'd come up with 2 ways to get around the issue. Use corpses for my inventory graveyard, or put lots and lots of little pieces on one person. We went with the latter.
Lots of burping.
The Bomo exploit was much more effective because we could engineer the armor in a way where all the individual metal chunks had a mind of their own. The fact they were possessed by spirits made this highly effective against non-corporeal monsters, even if the individual armor pieces weren't enchanted.
Excuse me, guys.
I didn't know if they were going to let this particular exploit stand, but it was pretty damn badass. Too bad all these armor pieces were going to dissipate when this was done. The sharp armor bits and daggers swirled up into the air, tornado-like. Loosely forming into the shape they were in before, a twin of Bomo. They clinked and clacked as they bumped into each other. Some of the pieces sparked. Individually, they sounded like hornets. Together, it was like an amplified weed whacker. Donut pointed at Asahano and shouted,
Get him!
The wine rose in pitch as the metal tornado zipped toward the shouting city boss. Outside, Gomids lurched toward the entrance.
We have to get the shrine piece he threw outside!
Paws shouted,
Quick! Before the Gomids get to it! Quick! Before the Gomids get to it!
Asahano shrieked as the swarm of armor and daggers descended on him. Pieces of straw went flying. He cast some sort of shield over himself before Donut could stop him with her mute spell. A shield health bar appeared and started to drain. Holy shit, I said, watching the attack on the city boss. The armor and dagger swirled around him at incredible speed, cutting and slicing and spinning and buzzing as he waved his arms.
Donut! That attack is insane!
I know, right?
She said proudly. Mongo appeared. She cast Clockwork Triplicate on him, and she sent the 2 automatons into the fray while the real dinosaur shrieked with alarm at his new surroundings. She then cast Mute on Asahano, the yellow spell flying through the air and disappearing into the skirmish. He'd been trying to cast a new spell, and it failed.
Hey, kid.
A new voice. Hey, kid! A new voice shouted. This was the ghost with the pet rooster, Legba. He was shouting at Paws. Ogun don't need his shrine fixed, man! Ogun don't need his shrine fixed, man! If you fix mine, I'll protect you from his wrath. I'll get you laid, too. What's your pleasure? I can't help but notice you weren't taken by my sister. I'll get you what you want. I grabbed Bomo by the shoulder. The rock creature had taken a glob of soap bubbles and put it on top of his head. I talked rapidly. Do you remember that game, Tetris? Do you remember that game, Tetris? Do you remember that game, Tetris? Bomo grunted. Boring. I like the music better than this music. I pointed at the lonely shrine just to his right. I could see the crumbled pieces on the ground. There weren't many. The pieces were blue, almost like ice. It looked as if they formed into maybe an obelisk. Put those pieces together, like in Tetris. Put those pieces together, like in Tetris. Make them fit. Tell me when you're done. Fast! Fast!
No!
Fast!
No!
Fast!
No! No!
Fast!
No!
Fast!
No!
Came a cry. This came from the ghost of the goddess Ocean. Anton sat there staring stupidly at his hand while Sister Inez stood over him. Anton sat there staring stupidly. Anton sat there staring stupidly at his hand while Sister Inez stood over him. Half of Anton's fingers on his right hand were gone. The Catwoman had done something to wake him up. It had worked.
Call! Call!
Donut shouted, pointing at the entrance. A bug-headed Gomid lurched into the room, wailing. Go! I said, patting Bomo on the back as I moved. I said, patting Bomo on the back as I moved to guard the door.
Why that shrine?
Donut called as she fired a magic missile at the Gomid. It hissed and fell back.
Call! We need to get... Call! Call! We need to get the Ogun piece!
It's too late! The piece is gone! I paused. Thankfully, I wasn't lying. There were suddenly 1,000 of those things out there. We're going to fix Yamaya's shrine!
Why that one? Why that one? Why that one? Why that one?
Sister Inez called as she pulled Anton away from Ocean's shrine.
If we can't do Ogun, we need to... If we can't do Ogun, we need to do Papa Legba.
Fix mine, I'll protect you from... Yeah, Legba agreed. I'll protect you from smites.
I have the heals. I have the heals. I have the heals. Heals. I have the heals.
Oshun called to Anton. Oshun called to Anton, who remained on his knees at her... To Anton, who remained on his knees at her base, she said,
I can heal your hand. I can heal your hand.
Anton seemed disoriented, almost drunk. The ghost goddess turned her gaze to me.
I can stop it. I can stop it,
she said. This time the words were in my head, yet I could feel her lips near my right ear. I could smell her, despite her being across the room.
How loud is it, Carl? How deep is it? I can drain it all away.
Okay, so Ainli. Ainli? Weird name. Sorry. Oh, we're at 218, y'all. Keep them coming. I think you can do this. You can do this. Only 1,300 more to go. 218, 217.
I can drain it all away.
Okay, so I think there's a new voice. Ainli.
I see it too. Yet another voice said, this one whispering in my left ear. A new voice. This was Ainli, the deaf and supposedly mute god who would give us a constitution boost. The ethereal sea spirit twisted around the man's body. This was the one who'd spent time in the nothing.
Oh, it's actually the serpent.
I see it too.
Yet
I see it too.
Yet another voice said, this one whispering in my left ear. Spent time in the nothing.
She can't heal a canyon that's dug this deep. I can. It's not what you think it is. You're just like me, Carl. I can help you. You're just like me.
Christ, I thought. I shook my head. In the corner, Donut's possessed armor pieces continued to fight with Asahano.
No!
I said. I called to Paws and Anton, who was now lurching toward Legba's shrine. I was doing my best to ignore the voices.
Yamaya is friends with a real god, giving a real boon. It's your best chance! Let me tighten that one up a little. Boon! It's your best chance! Boon! It's your best chance!
Hey! I take offense to that.
Legba called. The ghost rooster on his shoulder balked angrily.
You tell him,
Legba said to the rooster.
Carl, help! My mana is low!
Donut cried as she fired yet another missile at the door. Mongo shrieked and snapped at a Gomid tentacle. Donut.
Watch out!
I called as I pulled the blessed chalk from my inventory. We figured something like this would happen. This was just a leftover metal door block from the iron tangle that Mordecai had coated with a... This was just a leftover metal door block from the iron tangle that Mordecai had coated with a holy protection
Oil.
This was just a leftover metal door block from the iron tangle that Mordecai had coated with a holy protection oil. It would keep undead from passing through like a ghost. It wasn't perfect, and it was more like a repellent than something that would actually stop the Gomids, but it would keep them from pouring into the temple. I shoved it against the door. It was plenty big enough. Outside, the Gomids wailed anew. I leaned against the door as they started to pound against it. Anton and Paws ignored my calls to repair Yamaya's shrine and were hard at work on Legba's. His was nothing more than a wooden sign, but I couldn't read what it said upon it. They were trying to prop it up.
That looks like it hurts! That looks like it hurts!
Legba called, his voice filled with laughter. He was shouting at Asahano, who had fallen to his knees in the swarm of metal, which continued to zip around him. His shield was almost gone. His actual health was starting to decline on its own, despite the shield still being intact. It was from closing the door, I realized. It was just like when he was in the safe room. Being disconnected from the other Gamids was somehow draining him. Suddenly, multiple globs of green goo shot off the dying boss. Donut hadn't been able to mute him.
Watch out!
I called as a single lump slammed into both Paws and Anton. A blinking debuff appeared over both men as they inadvertently knocked over the shrine they were working on. Legba and his rooster shouted angrily. Sister Inez, who just standed there, mumbling, shook her head, as if being awakened from a trance. They're talking to us all. They're talking to us all. They're in our heads. The Catwoman cast a heal on Anton, but it didn't work. She then tried another. The Catwoman cast a heal on Anton, but it didn't work. She then tried another. The green goop had
God damn it.
The green goop had also somehow taken out most of the reanimated armor pieces. As I watched, the metal chunks fell to the ground. The ghosts fled the armor pieces, which disintegrated into puffs of purple smoke. The two clockwork Mongos exploded. A few daggers continued to zip through the air, high above the boss. They swooped down and swiped at the man, who remained on his knees, panting. His wand thing was gone. The shield whiffed out. His health drained on its own. It entered the red. It's done.
Oh, it done.
It done. Bomo said, standing up from where he was working. He pointed proudly at the obelisk. It had only been 5 or 6 pieces.
Hold the door! Hold the door!
I called to Bomo. I needed to get the sun thing to the shrine to wake it up. But first, I came to a decision. I pulled a flag, and I rushed across the room, jumping at the dying form of Asahano just as his health started to blink. His grass skirts were gone, revealing nothing more than a pale, albino man, wide-eyed and afraid. Half of his face was covered with a festering group of boils. I shoved the flag right into the top of his head. He puffed away, turning into a card.
Warning! You have been infected with slug pox.
My momentum caused me to slam into the wall. I felt a boil form on my arm. It started to bubble. A wave of nausea swept over me. Oh shit. The reanimated daggers over my head The reanimated daggers over my head flew toward the orb in the center of the room. Oshan and Legba and his rooster all howled with indignation, while the mute Ainli waved his arms angrily. The reanimated daggers worked together to pick up the floating skull gem and bring it to the rickety obelisk of Yamaya. The boil on my arm kept getting bigger and bigger. I felt a new boil start to form on my neck. The flying daggers brought the gem to the tip of the obelisk as Donut shouted instructions. The moment the glowing gem touched the obelisk, the room froze once again.
I need more tea. Be right back.
Oh, I just love it. Wow. How? It sounds like I'm talking through a phone. Oh, look, I can make my voice even louder.
The Bard's Golden Throat. Enchanted headset microphone. Nuclear power. The airplane. Transistors. Antibiotics. Important inventions and discoveries of the 1900s that changed the world. But those were nothing. Absolutely nothing compared to the greatest invention of the century. It happened in September of
Wanky tea time,
1997.
yep.
That was the day it all changed. That was the day a company called Antares Audio Technologies released into the wild a piece of software that finally cured a horrific disability that had been plaguing young men and women for a millennia. The disability? Tone deafness. The cure? It was called Auto-Tune. With the advent of the real-time
nice.
vocal synthesizer, underprivileged youths such as T-Pain, Kanye, and Kesha were finally able to crawl out from underneath their ordinary lives and become the shining stars they were destined to be. At the same time, aging musicians were able to keep their stars aloft just a little longer, proving once and for all that nothing, not even the lack of natural talent, could stop the upward momentum of technology. This golden
that's so good.
amethyst-encrusted microphone imbues the following benefits when it is equipped. The Golden Throat Enhancement automatically tunes songs within 1.5 steps of the correct note, assists in the proper formation of all bard-based songs and spells. Amplification. While equipped, all spoken words and songs are amplified at twice the normal volume. This can be increased to up to 5 times of top volume. Charisma plus 5% when equipped.
Oh, man. I love all the auto-tune that's going to happen.
The room froze once again. All right. The music stopped dead. It was so sudden, I feared I'd grown deaf. At the same time, the daggers whiffed away into a puff of smoke. The walls of the temple flashed, and then a bright, white light filled the area. The hole in the ceiling closed on its own. All the shrines except Yamaya's disappeared, along with the ghosts. The floor turned tiled and clean, covered with blue tributaries. Multiple fountains sprouted out of nowhere, including one right underneath both Paws and Anton, who remained on the floor, writhing in pain from the debuff. It pushed them up. It pushed them up and away. The metal Chaka was using to block the door disappeared, revealing an intact wooden door that was propped open to reveal a well-lit town. Thousands of Gamids stood just outside, all looking at one another in surprise. A whole wall of text appeared in my view, including more messages from Katya. which popped away into a folder.
Winner! Combat complete! Deck has been reset! Combat complete! Deck has been reset! Quest complete! Pueblo de los Olvidados! I wonder if it's possible for me to say that worse every time. Medium Gomid settlement has been liberated. Congratulations! You may now exit the settlement. The surviving Gomids have been cured. Entering Club Vanquisher entrance temple, the Temple of Yamaya. Welcome, friend of Yamaya. The goddess will soon make an appearance.
System message. The goddess Yamaya has reascended. She is welcomed into the family by all. By all. By all. She is welcomed into the family by all. She is welcomed into the family by all. We unfroze.
Oh God! Oh God!
Paws was saying.
He's coming!
Anton said, his voice hoarse with pain.
He's coming!
Anton said.
It's not working!
Sister Inez cried, her voice panicked.
I can top up your health, but it doesn't help. I can top up your health, but it doesn't stop going down. I can't cure it.
I barely heard this as I was preoccupied by the massive boil on my arm. I barely heard this as I was preoccupied by the massive boil on my arm, which was getting bigger and bigger like one of those Jiffy Pop popcorn pans. This was different than what Paws and Anton were suffering from. Pop! Pop! The boil on my arm exploded in a spray of clear liquid. I took a hit of damage. It stank of rot. A thumb-sized slug fell to the ground in a shower of fluid. It looked like a regular slug, but with a row of jagged teeth. What the hell?
Pox Slug, Level 1. Disgusting. They're like miniature drunk and angry juggalos. And what's worse, the next one will be Level 2, then Level 3, and so forth. The good thing is they won't attack you. Not yet, at least. Carl, what's happening?
Donut cried, coming up.
What's on your neck?
Up.
What's on your neck?
She stopped short at the sight of the miniature monster. She stopped short at the sight of the miniature monster. She stopped short at the sight of the miniature monster.
Oh my God! What is that?
I need a healer, I croaked.
Stay away from my daddy!
The slug cried with a tiny, high-pitched voice. It launched itself at Donut and chomped directly onto her nose, Mongo style. It hung from her face, growling. Donut squealed. Growling. Donut. She swiped at it, and it exploded in a shower of ooze. The boil on my neck felt as if it was getting ready to burst. A new boil formed on my thigh. Mongo approached and sniffed my leg. He growled.
Carl, I will not have you oozing attack slugs! Carl, I will not have you oozing attack slugs! We need to get to the all-healer inside the club!
Paws said, pointing toward a door that wasn't there before. He panted as he talked. It looked as if their debuff was a painful, unending bleed effect. Both he and Anton had a massive mark over their heads. It was a flaming anvil. It was a shunned marker from a god. The smiting. The smiting was imminent. I looked at the door. It was an entrance to Club Vanquisher. I'd never been in one before, but I could enter now that I was a worshipper of Emberus. This was just like the entrance bar to a desperado club, but instead of the entrance being a public bar, it was a temple. Donut could not enter.
Donut, I need to get in there. I gotta get Paws and Anton in too. Stay here and... Ugh!
My neck boil exploded. A new level 2 slug splotched onto the ground.
Whoop whoop! Whoop whoop!
The slug called before launching itself at Mongo. The dinosaur snatched it out of the air. I lurched toward the door, my hand on my neck. A new message from Katya appeared, but I waved it away.
Sister, help me get them to the door!
"Oh, God," Anton said. The normally stoic and angry man wept with fear.
It's too late. 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 It's too late.
Ogun has made an appearance in the realm.
And that's a chapter. How's everybody doing? We're at 2:30. I think we might get to like 500 today if the number keeps increasing. Everyone who just joined, go get somebody else. Do like a pile it on, guys. Enthusiastic double gonorrhea. That's one of my favorite things to say. Just letting you know.
Stop getting calm and erection.
It's my second favorite thing to say.
Chapter 16.
Okay, Tipid. Do you guys remember a crawler Tipid? Let me make sure. I don't remember a Tipid. Tipid. Evil Horse Space Magic. Evil Horse Sex Magic, not Space Magic. Alright, Tipid is not in book 5. I'm going to check book 3 real quick. I'm pretty sure... Oh, okay. Tipid is new, but an important male crest. Human. And the crests are like elves, right? Oh, human. Okay. Yes, the rest of the book will be getting read on Discord, but that will be less stable. I won't be as super consistent with those. Bald humans. Got it.
Chapter 16.
Note added by Crawler Tipid. 4th edition.
I killed my best friend today. I wish I had never made it this far.
No! No!
Anton said. A bolt of lightning crashed through the room, coming from the ceiling. It hit the newly repaired floor tiles and shattered several of the pieces. They flew through the room like shrapnel. The star appeared on my map. A man formed right where the lightning hit. He stood before Anton and Paws on the other side of the room. The back patch on my jacket vibrated, the sensation oddly reminding me of a phone on silent. The sensation oddly reminding me of a
You are in the presence of a deity. The scavenger's daughter has opened her eyes.
Oh, wait. This is supposed to be the kaiju one.
You are in the presence of a deity. The scavenger's daughter has opened her eyes. She fills with power. Temporary effect: all Smash-related attacks plus 300%. Ogun was human-sized, buff and dark-skinned, holding a giant warhammer over his shoulder. He wore a leather apron with no shirt, shorts, and a necklace made of sharp, white teeth from some massive creature. His eyes were nothing but white light. He emanated a yellow glow. It was as if someone had dropped a grenade into the room. We all stared, waiting for the inevitable. I examined him.
God of Blacksmithery and Armor, Ogun. Level 250. This god is not sponsored. Warning! This is a deity. He is invulnerable on this floor. This god has been temporarily summoned to this location. Summoning rules apply. Ogun is an outsider. He is one of the old gods, originally a member of an obscure pantheon that has since dissipated into time. He spends his days at his celestial anvil, angrily creating armor, piece after piece, but no one knows. He spends his days at his celestial anvil, angrily creating armor, piece after piece, but no one knows why he toils or what becomes of the armor when it's completed. It's said his creations have a strange shape, all designed for four-legged beasts. Ogun is no stranger to conflict. He was, until a minute ago, the last surviving member. He was, until a minute ago, the last surviving member of an ancient pantheon that was known for its bloody conflicts. Like most of the older gods, he isn't the same entity he once was. In the Great Halls, he is considered a god of blacksmiths and armorers. He once was something even greater. His power and ambition makes him a strong contender for the celestial throne. Here's how. He's here now because Ogun strongly believes all punishments should be handed out in person.
For a god that's always making armor, you'd think he would be better dressed. For a god that's always making armor, you'd think he would be better dressed.
Donut muttered from the back of Mongo, who screeched in agreement. Don't move. Don't move, I hissed. Don't bring attention to yourself. He's here for them, not us. But get ready for plan exit just in case.
Just you, me, Mongo, and Bomo? Are we going to abandon the others?
Yes. Plan exit was...
Oh, hey, we're at 243. You guys are making the numbers climb.
Plan exit, where to go? Plan exit was for me to hit protective shell while we both downed invisibility. Plan exit was for me to hit protective shell while we both downed invisibility potions. We'd get outside, and then Donut would puddle jump us as far away as possible. I looked nervously at Mongo and the massive cretin standing behind us. I gave clear instructions. I gave clear instructions. I gave clear instructions. Ogun said at the cowering forms of Paws and Anton on the far side of the room. His calm, even tone held a hint of a Caribbean accent. His calm, even tone held a hint of a Caribbean accent. He didn't sound angry, which somehow made him seem even more incensed. The god didn't need to be physically huge or loud to give off an air of pure, unbridled rage. You managed to chase off Osohono, which might have saved you. But you also unleashed my sister back into the light. That is unforgivable.
No!
Sister Inez called.
That wasn't Paws and Anton. That wasn't Paws and Anton. It was them!
She pointed at us. Ogun ignored her. I should never have allowed you the privilege of worshipping me. I should never have allowed you the privilege of worshipping me. I was frozen with indecision. Despite what I'd just said to Donut, I felt as if we should do something. I felt as if we should be doing something. Anything. Should I help? How? Even if I could get them out of here. Then what? The god would just follow. My new nipple ring came with a spell, Black Nimbus, that would temporarily remove all the benefits of being a worshipper of a god. Maybe it would save them from getting a smite. Maybe it would save them from getting a smite. Maybe it would save them from getting a smite. I could only cast it on one of the two men. But did I dare try it? Ogun only had eyes for his two worshippers. The last thing we wanted was to gain his attention. It'd be like trying to stop a train by stepping in front of it.
Leave them alone!
Sister Inez cried, coming to stand between the god and the two men with still falling health. Sister Inez cried, coming to stand between the god and the two men with the still falling health. The god paused and cocked his head to the side, regarding the Catwoman, finally seeing her. She pulled her magical trident and brandished it at the... She pulled her magical trident and brandished it at the... She pulled her magical trident and brandished it at the deity.
You want panda? All right, more tea. I'll be right back.
name is Jeff.
All right, started the water boiling. Gonna brew myself another pot. We're only an hour in. We're doing pretty good, guys. We're doing pretty good on time. We're at 250 listeners. That's half. Thank you for the wait music. So we're only at half. We're at half our original goal. We need 5 times this many. 5 times? 6 times this many in order to hit our 1,500. It might happen. We still have 2 whole hours, guys. So keep bothering all of your relatives and friends. Tell them it's a medical emergency. They have to see me stream.
She pulled her magical trident and... Okay. She pulled her magical trident. Where'd that go? Oh.
You're not a real god. You're not a real god. They only worshipped you because you promised to protect their minds, and it didn't work. They didn't do what you said because they were charmed by that other one. They didn't repair any of the shrines. It was those 2 behind you. It was those 2 behind you.
She made a threatening move with the She made a threatening move with the trident, which was equal parts brave and idiotic. Ogun grunted with amusement. He waved a hand and she froze in place. Her trident fell to the ground and shattered. A shelved debuff appeared and started to count down. It had a 6-minute timer. Holy shit, I thought. She's lucky he didn't turn her to ash. She's lucky he didn't turn her to ash. Another slug slurped out of my body and hit the ground. The level 3 slug hissed and jumped at Mongo. It met the same fate as the last one. Ogun spent a moment admiring the frozen Catwoman. He sidestepped her and approached the form of Paws, whose health was deep in the red. Both Anton and Paws were on the ground, hunched over in pain. Anton sobbed. Donut.
Carl, what do we do? Carl, what do we do?
Carl, we wait for it to pass. What else can we do? Donut.
He's going to kill them! He's going to kill them!
Carl, for their sake, let's hope that's all he does. The god leaned forward, reached out, and placed his hand against Paz's face. The handprint sizzled where it touched flesh. Paz was already in so much agony, he barely seemed to notice this. His health stopped descending. His body flashed, and then his health bar disappeared. The god had healed him. Ogun stood, and Paz's health immediately started to descend again.
Paz, you are no longer under my grace. For your failure, I am taking your ability to heal this condition you now suffer. Go in darkness, and when you pierce the veil, you will find yourself alone and without armor.
No, I heard myself say. No, not say. I shouted it.
No! Forgot about that.
I took a step forward. I had a boil on my cheek, and I knew it was about to pop.
Fuck you! Go fuck yourself!
The god looked over his shoulder. I know who you are, he said, finally acknowledging me. That was it. He turned his attention to Anton, who was crab-walking away. The man's health was almost gone. God damn it, I thought. A wave of helplessness washed over me. I took another step forward, and I cast Black Nimbus on Anton. Then I clicked on a scroll of heal, first on Anton, and then immediately another on Paws. Anton glowed with dusky light. A black crown formed over the tattooed man's head. The shunned mark disappeared. For a moment, Anton's eyes met mine. The god stood as if contemplating. He completely turned to face me, literally turning his back on Anton. I felt a simultaneous surge of hope and dread. The boil on my cheek exploded, and I grunted with pain. Mongo greedily snatched the slug away. I had 2 more boils forming, one on my right arm and one on my thigh.
Gotta go check that. Okay.
My thigh. Black Nimbus, the god said. The god said. He sounded more curious than angry. That was a good attempt. That was a good attempt. But all you have done is remove this man from my protection, from my mercy, not from my wrath. I was going to do the same to him as I did his companion. The god shrugged. And then he took a step backward. He stepped directly on Anton's head, and he crushed it, killing him. Just like that. As if he was nothing.
No!
Paws cried from the ground.
No! Cousin, no!
The god kept his glowing eyes locked on mine the whole time. I am not evil. I am not unreasonable. But there are rules. One of those rules is that you must know your place. If I didn't hold Empress in such high esteem, I would crush you too. Now, tell my sister I said, we'll come back. He poofed away in a shower of sparks, like that of a hammer striking molten steel. Ogun has left the realm. The scavenger's daughter has closed her eyes. The benefit fades and will completely dissipate over the next 10 minutes.
All right, that's another kaiju AI.
His sudden disappearance gave me a full view of Anton's ruined body. The blood was shockingly red against the blue and white tiles. The only sound was the bubbling of the fountains and the pained rasps of Paws. I ran up to Paws. The handprint of the god sat sideways on the man's face, and the burn had removed the skin where flesh met flesh, leaving nothing but red muscle and the white of his teeth. His nose had been spared, and he still had lips, but they were burned and depressed, like his face had been made of clay. I swallowed. I made this happen. I made this happen because I insisted on saving Yamaya. Pause, I said. Maya. Pause, I said. taking the man's armored hand. He clutched onto me tightly. The shunned marker was gone from over his head. Behind us, Sister Inez remained frozen, looking away. We're going to get you into the club. We'll see what they can do. His health was slowly fading. The god had made his debuff permanent. There would be no healing. Not of this. And we all knew it.
I remember it all,
Paws said.
Ogan. He cured me of everything. Everything except the inevitable debuff. I don't worship him anymore. He promised he would fix it, and he did. But only at the end.
Carl, what is he talking about?
Donut asked. Just hang on, I said, searching my inventory for something that would help. Nothing. I had nothing.
Maybe it's better this way. The sister was so afraid we wouldn't go to heaven because we're pretending to worship these gods.
Don't worry about that. They're not real. They're just assholes like everything else in this place. It's play acting. That's it. Here, take this. I pulled a fine healing potion and put it to his lips. As I did, the boil on my arm popped, and the level 5 slug fell right onto Paz's face.
I'll get him, Daddy!
The slug cried. I flicked the annoying thing away before it could chomp down. It flew, screaming across the room. Mongo shot off after it as a donut leaped to my shoulder.
Don't waste the potions,
Paws said, but he drank it anyway.
Look, brother, I gotta tell you something. You gotta be careful of her.
Who? What do you mean?
Sister Inez. She's not safe. Don't spend too much time with her.
I knew it! I knew it! What did I say, Carl?
Hush. Explain. Paz's armor flashed away, piece by piece as he stuck it into his inventory, leaving him wearing just shorts. He winced as he fell straight onto the tiles. Behind him, the newly erected fountain bubbled away merrily.
It's a race. It's a race. It comes with a skill called toxoplasma something. It makes people like her, want to protect her. You don't even realize it's happening. The effects are mild at first, but they get stronger and stronger as time goes on. And then eventually you'll do anything to protect her. My cousin and I, we didn't learn about it until it was too late. You don't even know it's happening. When you find out, you forget a minute later. That's how it works. She told us one night. She gets like that sometimes. In a mood, she feels guilty and won't stop talking about the things she's done. Oh, God. I hadn't even realized. It makes you forget about that, too. It makes you forget about that, too. It makes you forget about that, too.
Wait, she was charming you? Paws made a pained expression.
She reminded us once, I don't know, maybe for the third or fourth time, and we knew we'd forget again in a couple of minutes. We both worshipped Ogan because the priest said he'd keep us from getting controlled. It didn't work. Right after we worshipped him, we forgot why we'd done it. Sometimes she pretended like she was sorry, but not always.
I gave a sidelong glance at Donut, wondering.
Oh, don't look at me like that, Carl. I don't have that skill. If I did, Katya would still be in the party now, wouldn't she? You stay because I'm adorable, and you love me, and you wouldn't survive without me. I don't need some weird skill to make people like me.
I regarded the frozen form of Sister Inez. She stood, facing away. She still had a few minutes on her debuff. You're saying we should kill her? You're saying we should kill her? He shook his head.
No, not at all. Most of the time she's not bad. She's not evil, but sometimes... You gotta understand. We all came... You gotta understand. We all came in together. Some of us thought it was a bad idea, but Elion... Some of us thought it was a bad idea, but Elion said we needed everybody we could get. He's dead now. Anton killed him after...
Paws took a deep breath. His health was already half gone again. His hand remained clutched in my own. His hand remained clutched in my own, hard as iron.
Oh, God! He'd broken free, hadn't he? She'd been on medication, and then in the dungeon everyone said nobody needed their pills anymore, so we thought it was okay. But she's killed so many people.
What do you mean? She doesn't have the skulls. Mongo returned. Triumphant. Mongo returned, triumphant. He posted up by my leg, waiting for the next slug to appear. Paws winced in pain.
Not in the dungeon. Before. She was in prison for killing all the sisters in her convent. Poisoning them all.
I told you! 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 I told you!
Oh. She cried, then hissed.
I told you! I told you!
Donut cried. She hissed.
Nope. I'll just leave it alone.
I told you! You!
Where'd it go?
The dungeon picked the perfect breed for her. A Havana brown. I knew it. The dungeon picked the perfect breed for her. A Havana brown. I knew it.
Wait. She was a fellow prisoner? We always thought she was a worker. You said she was.
I never said that. And we weren't prisoners. We were guards. It was a women's prison. We were outside, walking them to the med building when it happened. God, we are the only two left, the sister and I. She's gonna be the last one. She's gonna be the last one. Who would have thought? When it happened, the papers called her El Segador de la Havana, the Reaper of Havana. The Reaper of Havana. The papers called her El Segador de la Havana, the Reaper of Havana.
My meows are not great. Where are we at? 245 still?
The Reaper of Havana.
A murderer, I said, a chill washing over me.
Mongo.
Donut said matter-of-factly.
Eat the nun.
Perfectly.
Eat the nun.
Perfectly.
Eat the nun.
Mongo glanced up from the boil on my leg. Which was about to pop. He looked at the still frozen form of Sister Inez and then back to Donut and cocked his head to the side with a look that said, "Really? Can I?" Wait! Donut, stop! Wait! Donut, stop! Up.
Not yet, Mungo. But wait for Mommy's sign. But wait for Mommy's sign. Oh, but wait for Mommy's sign.
She's insane. She's insane.
Paws said.
She's obsessed with the idea of sin. She's obsessed with the idea of sin. But compared to how she was before, she is so much better. She's been better for a long time, before even... Since we've gotten into the dungeon, she hasn't done anything bad or evil. She's fought alongside us. If she didn't have this thing, I don't think we'd be any different, but you needed to know about it. I'd feel guilty dying knowing I didn't tell you.
He closed his eyes and started to softly pray. I grunted with pain as my leg boil popped. The slug this time was noticeably bigger and had what looked like white and black paint on its face, almost like it was a miniature danger dingo. Mongo snapped it away before I could say anything. God damn it. I needed to get this slug thing taken care of before it got too dangerous, and then figure out this Katya thing. But for right now, this moment, this was our most pressing issue. The nun would wake up in a minute. Carl, what should we do? Donut.
We kill her! That's what we do! We kill her! That's what we do! I don't want to kill her... We kill her! That's what we do! I don't want to kill a person any more than you do, but we'll never trust her again! And she's stuck in here with us! And she's stuck in here with us! And she's stuck in here with us! She killed nuns, Carl! That's almost as bad as killing kittens! Again! And she's stuck in here with us! She killed nuns, Carl! That's almost as bad as killing kittens!
Carl, that's not who we are. That's not who we are, Donut. Donut.
Then why did you ask?
Deep down, I knew that would be the safest thing. But to kill somebody because they might do something bad? She hadn't hurt anybody since she got here. I thought of her putting herself between the god and an ill... I thought of her...
I think we're missing something a little bit here. Put herself between the god... The god and Anton, I guess.
I thought of her putting herself between the god and Anton in an ill-fated attempt to save them from Ogun. She'd been willing to die for her party members, and that said more about her than anything that had happened in the before times. She was one of us. The medications had been helping her, and it seemed whatever they'd done was holding now that she was in the dungeon. The medications had been helping her, and it seemed whatever they'd done was holding now that she was in the dungeon, despite the trauma of everything. I didn't want to hurt her. I liked her. We can party with her. It wouldn't be so bad. The moment I thought that, a chill washed over me. Carl, we'll separate. It's our only choice. We'll warn everybody of her past, and of that skill that comes with her race. Maybe she can find someone who's immune to the skill to work with her. Donut.
I don't know if now is the time for half measures, Carl.
I pulled another health potion, but Paws refused to drink. He only had 2 or 3 minutes left.
Let me go. It's okay. Please, it's okay. I just ask for forgiveness.
And I think it was given. That fake god said I'd be alone. But I won't be. I know it. My soul is at peace.
I looked at the potion, and then I nodded. I put it back into my inventory. Donut.
Carl! Katia says there's another god coming, and she's going to give us a quest, and we have to do it, but she won't say why or how she knows this. She says you're not answering her messages. She says she doesn't know what the quest will be. She's being very mysterious. She's being very mysterious.
Christ's sakes. Behind us, the nun became unfrozen, and she crumpled to the ground. She immediately jumped to her feet.
Paws! Paws!
The Catwoman cried, rushing up. She pushed me aside and grabbed his hand. I let her. Mongo let out an uncertain growl.
It's okay,
Donut said to the dinosaur.
Just stay on slug duty. For now. It's okay. Just stay on slug duty. It's okay. It's okay. Just stay on slug duty. For now. Pause!
Sister Inez repeated, ignoring us. She wept as she talked.
Come. We'll go into the club. We'll get you cured. Help, Carl. Help, Carl. Why aren't you helping? Why didn't you get that shrine piece? This is your fault.
Don't blame them, Paws said. I'm sorry, sister. I told them what you are. What you did.
Paws said.
I'm sorry, sister.
Don't worry about that. Come, get up. We must hurry.
No,
Paws said. His health was almost gone.
let me go.
You can't give up,
she said.
It's a sin to give up.
The fountain started to bubble furiously.
It's not giving up.
No, please. You're not leaving me. Everyone leaves me.
I'm sorry, sister. Goodbye.
No!
Sister Inez shouted, her voice suddenly angry.
No! You're not leaving.
She suddenly had a flag in her hand. Holy shit, I thought. She's not going to... She jabbed it right into Paz's neck. The movement was so fast. So sudden, it didn't occur to me to try to stop her. Whoom! Paws turned into a card. We all just stared at the Catwoman, who held on to the green card. Green, which was the color of a common card. Even she appeared stunned that it actually worked. Behind her, the fountain bubbled over. The water spilled onto the floor. Yamaya has made an appearance in the realm. Elethia has made an appearance in the realm.
Boom! That's another chapter, y'all. All right, let me get some of that damn tea. We're almost at 250 total. We're almost at 250. Yeah, Odette's theme. Oh, man. All right. On to the next chapter. What time is it? 7:30. We're halfway through the stream today. My voice is feeling pretty good, actually.
Chapter 17.
Real quick before I keep going, just want to remind everybody to check all the links in the description below. You can find all sorts of shit, including, the links to the Dungeon Crawler Carl audiobooks on Audible, in case you're one of the people that was dragged here and have no fucking idea what Dungeon Crawler Carl is about. There's already 5 books in the series. Get addicted like the rest of us. Excuse me. And there's all sorts of other stuff like Matt Dinneman's Patreon, link to Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon, the cinematic audio version. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. And tomorrow we do have a regular Sound Booth Theater Live, which is basically our variety show where sometimes we talk to authors, sometimes we just do live readings of stuff. Usually it's more than one of us actors, one of us narrators. Ahmed's always there, Sin's always there lately. But make sure to come hang out with us. It's at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, and it just goes for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we just hang out and goof off. If you guys like hanging out with us, I think you'll have a good time. All right, here it goes.
Chapter 17. Holy shit, sister, I said, as we backed away from the form of the first goddess. Did you know that was going to work? She didn't have a chance to answer.
Okay, so I think this was supposed to be
Yamaya.
the same Kaiju AI voice. And here as well.
You are in the presence of 2 deities. You are in the presence of 2 deities. The scavenger's daughter has opened her eyes. She fills with power. Temporary effect from Yamaya. All healing skills and spells cost no mana. They have no cooldown. Temporary effect from Alethea. All damage you strike against female opponents is quartered. All female members of your party strike with a melee power of 500%.
Oh, wait. No, this is supposed to be the goofball AI. You are in the presence of 2 deities. The scavenger's daughter has opened her eyes. She fills with power. Temporary effect from Yamaya. All healing skills and spells cost no mana. They have no cooldown. Temporary effect from Alethea. All damage you strike against female opponents is quartered. All female members of your party strike with a melee power of 500%. Girl power, bitches! I love how it's girl power, but it's also just calls everybody bitches.
The first of the two gods to physically appear was Yamaya, who came straight from the fountain. She emerged, rising from the water, splashing us all. A notification appeared. A temporary buff.
She's the Starbucks logo. She's the Starbucks logo.
Donut hissed. Yamaya was a stunningly beautiful, dark-skinned mermaid. She didn't have the harsh facial features of a full naiad, nor the vampire fangs, but she did have the neck gills and pointed ears and large eyes, and I was immediately reminded of both Samantha and the late Signet. She was topless, and water flowed from her pendulous breasts, flowing back into the fountain below her, like each nipple was a spigot. She split at the waist, and she had two bodies, or tails, which was really bizarre. Donut was right. It was just like the Starbucks... It was just like the Starbucks coffee logo woman. The two scaled mermaid bodies curved up behind her, contained in the fountain like a giant fish in a much too small bowl. The twin tail fins arched up into the air and met at the tip, making a heart pattern between... The twin fins arched up into the air and met at the tip, making a heart pattern behind her. Not a mermaid, I realized. Not a mermaid, I realized, staring at the goddess. A siren.
Goddess of Rivers, Yamaya. Level 250. This is a locked deity. She will not be sponsored this season. This goddess is a retainer of Ilethia. Warning! This is a deity. She is invulnerable on this floor. This goddess is within her own temple. Temple appearance rules apply. That means, watch the fuck out. Yamaya once was the goddess of all oceans, all bodies of water, big and small. But she was more than that, too. She was the queen of love and the bringer of life. But, eventually, her people died off. Her temples crumbled, and she was forgotten by all except her dear friend, the goddess Ilethia, who wished every day that her old friend would someday come back from the land of the forgotten. Now that Yamaya has reascended into the halls, she will have a lot of work to do to make certain nobody ever forgets her name again. She's an unlikely candidate to claim the throne, but she would work tirelessly for her good friend Ilethia should she desire such a burden.
A god that's a retainer of another god? What did that mean? Just as I finished examining the description, the second goddess appeared. This was Ilethia, who formed in the center of the room, atop the shattered tiles where Ogun had appeared. I twisted to examine the newcomer. This one did not look like a goddess, just a regular-sized alien dressed up for a costume party. She obviously was from a different pantheon than Yamaya. She obviously was from a different pantheon than Yamaya. I knew the real Ilethia was a goddess from Greek myth, but this was some hairy alien thing. I could only tell she was female because it said so. I'd seen this type of alien before at CrawlCon and in the audience at various shows, but I didn't know what they were called. They were hairy, covered with blue and black hairs that looked coarse to the touch. About 5 feet tall, bipedal with 6 black eyes arranged in a V pattern on her bug-like face. She had 4 arms with 3 fingers on each end. She had 4 arms with 3 fingers on each end. She had a long, thin neck that made it appear as if her head might tumble off and away at any moment. Her body was thin, except for an extended belly, which made her look very pregnant. She wore a blood-red toga and had a laurel leaf upon her head. I tensed. I tensed when I saw the note next to the goddess's name. She was sponsored. She was being driven by someone. Someone named Huan Xin Jinx. I'd never heard that name before. I'd never heard the name before.
All right. Of course, I get excited about our momentum, and then my voice starts to deteriorate. So,
My name is Jeff.
so I need to chill out. Need to take a little tiny little break, hang out for a second. 225 viewers. We're starting to climb down. That's all right. You guys tried. That's the what really counts, but not really, because you didn't win. That's all. That's all. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. But hey, we'll figure out maybe something else. Maybe the next time we do a cold read, we'll have like some more interesting. I don't know if we're gonna get a more interesting prize than me getting a tattoo on my ass, but we'll see.
I'd never heard the name before. I realized she wasn't wearing her soul armor. This was who she really was. I knew the sponsors could do that. Appear as they really were. The siren goddess Yamaya looked sadly down at the corpse of Anton.
He killed him in my own temple. I'll have to do something about that.
She looked over to Alethea, ignoring us for the moment.
My dear friend, I have missed you so. Thank you for remembering me.
Alethea was looking directly at me. I took a nervous step back. We were in danger here. I didn't know who this was or her affiliation. Her eyes turned in their sockets like camera lenses focusing. If she wanted us dead, we were fucked. I examined her.
Goddess of Childbirth and Female Pain, Alethea. Level 250. Sponsored by Huan Xin Jinx of the Grixis Swarm, CEO of Icon Industries. Warning. This is a deity. She is invulnerable on this floor. This goddess has been temporarily summoned to this location. Summoning rules apply. Alethea is something of an oddity. She's benevolent. Unlike most of these psychos, she's known for her kind heart. She's prayed to by all mothers, both when they're attempting to sow the seeds and when the harvest comes. And while she does many things, she's mostly known as she who eases pain. Both the physical pain of childbirth and the inevitable darkness that comes to those who are unable to complete their most sacred task. When the stillness comes, she is not the one who has caused the heartbreak, but she is the one holding the grieving mother's hand. She is not known to be someone who seeks the throne, which likely makes her one of the most qualified of the deities to claim the title. Hopefully, her sponsor this season is someone who shares the same grace as her character. Hopefully, her sponsor this season is someone who shares the same grace as her character.
The alien goddess took a step toward us. She briefly put up her hand. She briefly put her hand on my shoulder, and then she scratched Donut. Mongo whined uncertainly. The goddess's entire body crackled with energy. I received another buff notification. Rapid healing. I took that as a hopeful sign. Without saying anything to us, she turned to face the other goddess.
Hello, Yamaya. Yes, Ogun insulted you by shedding blood in your own temple. Hello, Yamaya. Yes, Ogun insulted you by shedding blood in your own temple. We'll make certain We'll make certain the council hears about it. But that's for later. Right now we both have gifts for these crawlers. Do we not?
And what does she sound like?
My dear friend.
Nope.
Hello, Yamaya.
Hello, Yamaya.
He killed him in my own... I'll have to do something. I've missed you. Thank you for remembering me. Hello, Yamaya. Yeta. Right now we both have gifts for these crawlers. Do we not? Crawlers? Do we not? Crawler? Do we not? Crawlers?
Yep, gotta try something else for this character. Let's see. Potsy? I don't think I will. I don't think so, guys. Sorry.
We'll make... Crawlers? Yes. Here we go. We'll do it like this. Hello, Yamaya. Yes, Ogun insulted you by shedding blood in your temple. We'll make certain the council hears about it. But that's for later. Right now, we both have gifts for these crawlers. Do we not? Do we not? Crawlers? Do we not? Do we not? Crawler? Do we not? Crawl? Do we not? Crawler? Do we not? Crawlers?
Yamaya asked, looking at the three of us plus Mongo and Bomo, who stood behind us, rock mouth hanging open in awe. Rock mouth hanging open in awe. Rock mouth hanging open in awe. And us, rock mouth hanging open in awe.
Yes. Yes. Yes, we do. Yes. Yes. Yes, we do. There was one more. Where did he run off to? Did Organ slay him as well?
Itchy nose all of a sudden. God damn it.
I looked at the card still clutched in Sister Inez's hand. It disappeared into her inventory.
He's not here. He's not here anymore. He's not here anymore. He's not here anymore. He's not here anymore.
Sister Inez whispered. I couldn't stop thinking about Paws, about what he said. Let me go. The idea of turning a person into a card hadn't even occurred to me. Could he feel it? How did that even work? Was he just sitting there, on the edge of death in some room, like a genie in a lamp? Or would he blink and suddenly be on the battlefield the next time Sister Inez summoned him? It was so wrong, so grotesque, it made me ill to just think about it. We need to tear that card.
I have you to thank for repairing my shrine.
Yamaya was saying. She was talking to Bomo. Before she finished, another slug. Before she finished, another slug popped, this one coming from my arm. Mongo snapped at it and missed. It hit the ground and looked up at Yamaya.
Fuck the gods! Fuck the gods! Fuck the gods! Stop getting calm and erection.
Damn it.
The slug cried. The ground opened up under it, a hole no bigger than my fist, and the slug disappeared, screaming into the darkness. I can't control that. Yamaya's eyes fixed on me.
I know the condition you suffer from. It is from my brother. He did it on purpose, just so you know. Strand himself here, I mean. He feigns innocence, but he always knew what he was doing. I'm glad you saw him for what he was. As to the slug pox, a healer can fix that. You should probably address it quickly.
Her twin back tails fluttered.
Now take these as a token of my gratitude. Now, take these as a token of my gratitude. One for you, brave Sister Inez, and one for you, beautiful Princess Donut.
The card appeared floating in midair in front of Donut. She gasped and reached out and took it before I could examine it. It had the black border of mythical rareness, the second highest quality, only behind the orange unique cards. 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 Quality. Only behind the orange unique cards. Best quality. Only behind the
Thank you, your goddessness,
Donut said. Donut said, voice full of wonder.
Carl, it's a mystic card. Carl, it's a mystic card.
She shout whispered.
We have all 5 kinds now. We have all 5 kinds now. It lets us steal a card from someone else. It's not even consumable. It's great. It's called the Thief.
I'd only heard of a few people finding mystic cards so far. They were like magic spells that directly affected gameplay somehow, unlike a utility card, which would affect just one totem or a special card, which was usually a consumable, one-time effect on the caster. Yamaya laughed and clapped her hands.
Uh-oh, guys. The voice is going. The voice is leaving me. Let's see how much I have left of this chapter here. 4 pages. Just slap more tea on it.
Yamaya laughed and clapped her hands. There we go, that's better. Yamaya laughed and clapped her hands.
I am glad you enjoy it, little donut. You enjoy it, little donut. I can't help but see you haven't given yourself to a goddess yet. Perhaps I can entice you into worshipping at my altar. There may be more prizes in it for you.
I'll have to think about it, but thank you so very much.
Yamaya nodded and pointed at Bomo.
You, come here.
Bomo grunted and stepped forward. His feet splashed in the water overflowing from the fountain. She reached forward and put a webbed hand. She reached forward and put a webbed hand on his shoulder.
You are the one who You are the one who constructed my shrine.
It easy. Easier than Tetris.
If it is in my power, I will give you what you desire. What do you want?
Bomo thought for a moment.
What do you want?
Bomo thought for a moment.
Maybe more games,
he finally said. He paused.
No. The sledge. I miss my friend.
You miss your friend? Then you shall be reunited. Where is he?
Laracos,
Bomo said. Bomo said.
It is done. It is done.
Yamaya said, and without a word, Bomo blinked and disappeared. He was gone. Just like that. Motherfuck. Mongo whimpered. I exchanged a look with a donut. Did that just happen? She'd teleported Bomo to the 9th floor. We needed him. Needed his spell to get us to the stairwell. God damn it.
Ogun insulted you by shedding blood in your temple. We'll make certain that...
All right, higher pitch. That's right.
I, too, have a boon for each of you.
Elethea said.
And a quest for Carl, who worship is, and a quest for Carl, who worships my good friend, Empress.
I straightened. I didn't know god quests were a thing when you already worshipped another god. I didn't realize. God damn it. I didn't know god quests were a thing when you already worshipped another god. The hairy alien woman smiled, and I suddenly felt uneasy. She raised her hand, and a soft yellow light filled the temple.
The light of grace fills you with peace. You have been granted a floor boon. This boon will remain in place for the remainder of this floor as long as you remain in Alethea's grace. She may revoke this boon at any time. Protection from spiritual possession, 10% healing speed, plus 10% constitution. Wow! This is fantastic! You're both great goddesses. Much better than all the other ones we've met so far. Much better than all the other ones we've met so far. This is much better than all the other ones we've met so far. Now, Carl,
Elethea said.
One more item. This is just for your party.
New quest. Spiders! Warning. This quest comes from a deity you do not worship. You are not required to complete this quest. But they might not like it if you ignore them. Kill 5 spiders in my name every day. Oh, wait. This is supposed to be in Alethea's voice. Oops.
New quest. Spiders. Warning. This quest comes from a deity you do not worship. You are not required to complete this quest, but they might not like it if you ignore them. Kill 5 spiders in my name every day until I ask you to stop. Reward? You will receive another boon from me.
This quest, all except the warning part, came in Alethea's voice.
Oops.
Spy. Warning.
Warning! This quest comes from a deity you do not worship. You are not required to complete this quest, but they might not like it if you ignore them. You are not required to complete this quest, but they might not like it if you ignore them.
Kill 5 spiders in my name every...
Came in Alethea's I said, exchanging a look with the donut.
Kill spiders? Does it have to be a specific type of spider, or will any do? I saw a small one earlier outside, sitting on one of those tombstones, but I'm not sure if it's really here, or if it's a part of the memory thing.
The memory thing isn't happening in the cemetery, remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is going to be really easy. This is going to be really easy. This is going to be really easy.
Alethea.
Carl, the system is not allowed to monitor this message. Do not respond, because they can... Do not respond, because they can see your response. This is a deity message, and it will disappear. That quest is just a cover. It allows me to send you messages, and it's a workaround that gives me the ability to award your party another boon. If you want to save Kotia and Donut, listen to me. That quest I gave isn't the real quest, though you still need to complete it. If you understand what I'm saying, scratch your left arm.
I went stiff. Just as I finished reading the message, another slug popped out. Mongo managed to get this one, but I noted he actually had to chew this time. I also took the time to copy and paste the message into my scratch pad. I knew from Emberus that she was correct. The god messages went away the moment you closed them, but it did allow you to copy and paste. I scratched my left arm. Alethea.
Good. When Odette gets into orbit... When Odette gets into orbit, she's going to offer to be your Faction Wars team adjutant. She's only doing this because she believes there's no way you will get the votes to turn off the team predictions. She believes your real goal is for you to compromise and have the protections... She believes your real goal is for you to compromise and have the predictions turned on for all the crawlers on the 9th floor.
That was absolutely true, but I hadn't said that out loud to anybody. The message continued.
When Odette makes this offer, I want you to accept it. If you do this, I will make certain you have the votes to turn the protections off on the 9th floor. I've watched you long enough to know you'd prefer this outcome. I know what you really seek. I know what you really seek. They will never allow the crawlers to be safe, just so you know, so you aren't losing anything by helping me. I will graciously clear this issue with the crown of the sepsis whore as well. You've just seen what a goddess in her own temple can do, how she transferred that cretin... How she transferred that cretin to the 9th floor. A deity in their own temple has more powers than even the AI in some cases. Do not tell anybody about this conversation. Not out loud. Not using that obvious bathroom system. Nobody. Not the cat, and especially not Odette or Mordecai. Do not discuss this with Kotia, though she knows of this deal. She'll explain to you what she can, but this part of the bargain is between you and me. And that's it. If you mention any of this, the deal is off. And I will make certain everyone you've ever known and loved. Everyone. And I will make certain anyone. And I will.
Where'd he go?
The deal. Any of this. If you mention any of this, the deal is off, and I will make certain everyone you've ever known and if you mention any of this, the deal is off, and I will make certain everyone you've ever known and loved is ever known and loved. If you mention any of this, the deal is off. And I will make certain everyone you've ever known and loved is pounded into dirt. But if you do everything I ask, you will find. But if you do everything I ask, you will have found a forever friend in me, both during your crawl and after. I will make certain you survive until the 12th floor, where you and Kotia and the cat will help me claim the celestial throne once and for all, and after, you will be given a most generous exit plan. I help my friends, Carl. I utterly destroy my enemies. Ask Mordecai about me. He knows. Just don't tell him about our deal or this conversation. If you agree, I want you to tell the cat it's time for you to get that disgusting slug pox cured.
I took a very, very deep breath. It was a lot. A whole lot. What had Katia gotten us embroiled in? What did this woman have to do with Odette? I copied and pasted the conversation into my secret notepad before it disappeared. I copied and pasted the conversation into my secret notepad before it disappeared. Donut, I need to get into the temple and get this slug thing taken care of as soon as possible. Carl, Donut, I need you to get to a safe room. I don't want you alone with Sister Inez. Donut.
Okay, but you gotta ask Kotia what's going on. She won't tell me anything. She's acting weird.
My goddess! My goddess!
A new voice cried.
Goddess! My goddess!
A new voice cried. We all turned to see a newcomer had entered the temple. He looked just like a regular Gomid, but he was now acting like any old NPC. This one was a squat man wearing ethereal robes. He looked almost human, except for a bushy tail. He fell to his knees, and he started to weep.
I'm assuming he's blubbering over you, Yemaya, and not me,
Alethea said.
I will take my leave. I'll see you in the halls.
And then the goddess just disappeared. I could feel yet another slug was about to pop out of me. Yamaya looked at me and pointed to the entrance to the Club Vanquisher.
You better get it. You better get within,
the goddess said, as she faded out of existence. Both deities have left the realm. The scavenger's daughter has closed her eyes. The benefit fades and will completely dissipate over the next 10 minutes.
Oops. There we go.
Sister Inez was kneeled by Anton's body. She'd just looted everything he had. She stood and stormed from the temple, stepping over the NPC, who remained on the ground. She didn't say another word to either of us. I called out for her to wait, but she ignored me. She went out into the night and disappeared. The boil, this one on the back of my hand, popped and splattered onto the floor. This slug had what looked like a little hatchet glued to its side. It squealed as Mongo snapped it in half. Donut and I moved to the entrance of the temple, also stepping around the crying Gomid. Several of the NPCs stood outside, milling about, as if in shock. The town had transformed, though it remained a graveyard. All the tombs had turned into shops. I could no longer see Sister Inez, but we watched her dot move to the entrance to the cemetery, and she went back out into Havana.
Poor Anton and Paws,
Donut said.
Poor Anton and Paws,
Donut said. She gave me a pointed look. She gave me a pointed look. She gave me a pointed look.
Especially Paws.
I'll just say it.
I told you so, Carl! I told you! Now we're going to be worried about her the whole time.
She started grumbling again about Havana Browns. I sighed. I sent a message to Katya to meet us in the safe room, but to not say anything to Donut until I got back. Donut gave me a side head bonk.
Now hurry up and get that taken care. You're going to give Mongo a stomachache, and it's absolutely revolting.
All right, guys. What time is it? It is 8:20. Let me see how long this next chapter is. I don't think I can do it. My voice keeps fading in and out. I think I should save it for tomorrow. So, yeah, back at it tomorrow. No more cold reads, but you can check the description in the of this video. You can find the link to our Discord server, and if you choose the role listener or notification squad, you will find out when I'm about to go in. So, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. I really appreciated it. We got to 250 people, so that was a really good effort. Thank you again for everybody who brought people in. Watch out, because we're gonna start talking about my tattoo. We're gonna figure that out. Matt, I think, is gonna be a good source for finding a designer, and maybe we can go to prison and get my tattoo there with his tattoo artist. We'll see. We'll give it a shot.
I'm more interested in the cat that's going to get tatted with your face.
That would be awesome. We need to make that happen as well.
Matt said he's going to do it himself.
Okay, great. So, yeah, guys. Again, you were amazing. Check the description for all the links that you might want. If you didn't know what Dungeon Crawler Carl was until now, I'm sure you're hooked. Go check it out on Audible. There's 5 books already. DCC 6. We're aiming for August. We're aiming to release in August. It's at least going to be August. It won't be later. trust me. But, you know, at the rate that I'm going here with my voice kind of giving out on Carl, quite often I need to figure it out, and I need to up the pace. Maybe I need to do like 2 sessions a day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. I don't know. But yeah, go check out everything in the description below. Subscribe to our channel. That's going to be a huge help to us. And yeah, go pick up A Summoner Awakens by Kerberos. That's on Audible. Just came out last week. And that's it. Thanks one more time. This has been amazing. And yeah, we'll see you again sometime soon. Oh, watch out for the cold reads that will be showing up on our platform. So what we do is we take the audio and we edit out a lot of the negative space, and then we put it on our platform so that you can listen through the whole cold read session, all 6 of them, without having to watch a video. So you can download it and you don't need to stream it or anything. So anyway, you guys are the best. I will see you again hopefully tomorrow. Watch out for notifications in our Discord server. And y'all have a good night otherwise.